President Trump has once again shaken the national conversation after officially signing a brand new executive order, an event surrounded by excitement, applause, and a sense of anticipation as cameras captured the moment he invited First Lady Melania Trump to join him in putting pen to paper. The scene was filled with energy, supporters cheering, photographers capturing every frame, and the president himself emphasizing the importance of what was being signed. But while the executive order generated early buzz on its own, what followed shortly afterward became an even bigger headline: a full confirmation from the White House that President Trump has committed to delivering a $2,000 dividend to millions of Americans using revenue collected from tariffs. This announcement has already begun rippling across the country, especially for households facing rising costs, and most importantly for seniors and Social Security beneficiaries who have been among the hardest hit by inflation, medical expenses, and the growing financial pressure of simply trying to survive. Welcome back to Truth Lens, where we break down the facts, the statements, the documents, and the decisions affecting everyday Americans, especially those who rely on Social Security benefits, disability benefits, fixed incomes, or retirement checks that haven't kept up with real-world expenses. Here we bring clarity to the issues that matter most. Issues like the cost of living crisis, federal relief programs, executive orders, and any government move that might impact the lives of older Americans who continue to bear the weight of economic challenges. So as we dive deeper into this breaking development involving President Trump's $2,000 tariff dividend payments, I want to acknowledge the millions of seniors, retirees, survivors, widows, veterans, and disabled Americans who tune into this channel daily and who continue to express how difficult it has become to keep food on the table, afford medication, pay rent, and survive on monthly checks that no longer stretch to the end of the month. Your struggles matter, your voices matter, and this update has direct implications for you. Now let's go into the announcement itself. According to the White House, President Trump has made it clear that he is committed to sending out $2,000 payments funded entirely through tariff revenue, money collected from foreign countries on their imported goods. The administration stated that this is not taxpayer money, not borrowed money, and not deficit increasing money. Instead, Trump claims that the U.S. has brought in trillions from tariffs during his administration and that this revenue will be used to send direct payments to everyday Americans, specifically low and middle income citizens. During a recent speech, Trump said plainly that one of his goals is to issue a dividend of about $2,000 per person while using remaining tariff revenue to pay down portions of the national debt. He emphasized that these payments would not be provided to high-income individuals, making it clear that the focus is on regular Americans struggling to cope with skyrocketing prices. For many older adults and Social Security recipients, the idea of receiving a financial boost, especially one that doesn't rely on filing taxes or reporting wages, has sparked a wave of hope after years of feeling left behind by relief programs. This announcement gained even more credibility when Trump posted directly on Truth Social, doubling down on his statement by calling people who oppose tariffs fools and insisting that tariff revenue has played a key role in making America financially strong. He added that a dividend of at least $2,000 per person will be paid out, excluding high-income individuals. In another post, he stated that any money left over after distributing these payments to low and middle income U.S. citizens would be used to pay down the national debt. That part is extremely important because it directly answers one of the biggest questions that people, especially seniors, have been asking. Will non-filers, retirees, and Social Security beneficiaries be included? According to Trump's own words, the payments go to U.S. citizens who fall into the low to middle income range. Seniors living on Social Security almost always fall into that category, and that reality has sparked waves of relief among retired and disabled Americans who have been desperately waiting for help. This is especially meaningful because millions of older Americans repeatedly express that they feel overlooked every time relief payments are discussed. Seniors on Social Security, SSI, SSDI, survivors benefits, and VA disability often carry the heaviest financial burdens, yet they are consistently among the first groups to worry that they might be excluded from benefits. Many seniors rely on less than $1,500 per month, with some living on barely $900. Rising rent, electricity bills, medical copays, prescription drug prices, and grocery costs have made daily life a constant uphill climb. Every month is its own battle, and for countless seniors, a $2,000 payment would be life-changing, not a luxury, not a bonus, but a real and necessary relief. Many older Americans in their 60s, 70s, and 80s describe days when they go without certain foods, skip doses of medication to make prescriptions last longer, or avoid turning on the heat because they can't risk a higher utility bill. Stories like these come in through comments and emails constantly, and they reflect a reality that has been ignored for far too long. That is why this news has sparked such intense conversation across the country. Another major development tied to the event was the executive order signed jointly by President Trump and First Lady Melania Trump. This rare joint signing focused on expanding federal support and resources for teenagers in the foster care system, many of whom age out of care and find themselves without stability, housing, or guidance. Melania Trump highlighted how too many young people from foster backgrounds end up homeless or exposed to danger after leaving the system. The goal of the executive order is to help create a safer, more supportive pathway for those youth as they move into adulthood. While this initiative does not tie directly to the $2,000 payments, it reflects a broader focus on vulnerable populations, just as seniors living on fixed incomes form one of the most vulnerable groups in the country today. Coming back to the payments themselves, one important detail centers on income thresholds. Based on the wording and prior proposals, specifically the previously introduced $600 tariff dividend bill backed by Senator Josh Hawley and supported by President Trump, the income limit would likely be around $100,000 per year or less for individuals. That threshold, historically used in past stimulus programs, places nearly all seniors and Social Security beneficiaries well within the eligible range. Seniors rarely earn anywhere near $100,000 in combined annual income, meaning the vast majority of retired Americans, disabled individuals, widows, and veterans would qualify under Trump's stated guidelines. As always, the financial strain on older adults remains at the center of the national discussion. Many of them feel forgotten by policymakers, and especially as the cost of everyday living continues to rise while Social Security cost of living adjustments fail to match real inflation. These older adults aren't asking for luxuries. They're asking for a chance to breathe again. This development has not only reignited hope, but also raised practical questions across communities nationwide. People want to know when payments might arrive, how eligibility will be confirmed, and how the government plans to distribute funds. While those details are still unfolding, the statements coming directly from Trump and the White House leave little ambiguity about the intention. The administration wants to deliver these payments soon, and they want them to go to the people who need them most. For seniors who have written in saying they feel invisible, this update may finally signal a moment of recognition, one where their daily struggles are acknowledged and their financial hardships are taken seriously at the highest level. As Americans wait for additional clarification, one thing is becoming increasingly clear. This proposal is designed to support millions of households who have spent years feeling the weight of inflation, and seniors remain at the forefront of those affected. Whether they rely on Social Security retirement, disability payments, SSI, VA benefits, or small pension checks, older Americans have endured some of the harshest economic realities in the nation. And as always, here at Truth Lens, we will continue to follow every update, every statement, and every document to ensure that you have the clearest understanding of how these payments may impact your life.